We are here with Matt Wilson, who is the CEO of Light and Wonder, formerly Scientific Games. And Matt, the very first thing we have to say is congratulations on becoming the permanent CEO of LNW.
Yeah, it's officially official as of yesterday. So I've been shaking everyone's hand at the show and couldn't be more thrilled to get the opportunity to lead the team into the future. I think the company has amazing things ahead of it, a great team, and just honoured to be in service to them as their leader.
Well, it's great news. I know there's a lot of folks very happy about this appointment. Well-deserved, and we observers are enthusiastically looking forward to observing.
Right. Well, I appreciate your support, really do.
This has been a very busy year in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You guys, as a company, have undergone a number of significant changes, kind of merging in some ways, setting a corporate direction. You've had all these challenges to deal with, from external challenges, whether it's the evolution of COVID to recession to supply chains. Give us a little update on how you've met all of those challenges, and then what's the roadmap ahead for LNW?
Yeah, I think, we talked about this a little bit last year. I joined the company March of 2020, walked straight into the middle of a pandemic, and since then pretty much everything has changed. I like to tell the story through the lens of from and to. So if you came to G2E last year, you would have come to the booth and we were Scientific Games, which to me was this collection of interesting gaming assets that were complementary in some areas, but completely divergent in other areas. And as you know, we came together through lots of M&A. We had a challenged balance sheet. We were 10 times levered at one point. So that's who we were as Scientific Games, and now we show up to the show as Light and Wonder, rebranded company, and a totally new organization, top to bottom. New investors, new chairman, new board members, new leadership, and importantly, a new balance sheet and financial
CEO.
New CEO as of yesterday, and a new mix of businesses. Like, we made the strategic decision to sell a couple of assets. So we sold the lottery business in Q2 of this year. We just closed on the proceeds of the sports betting sale just last week, actually. And so now we are Light and Wonder, an organization that has these three very complementary businesses. And the way that I like to frame it up is R&D, which is games and technology in our mind, is the center of our universe. It's the reason that we exist. And then we have these three very complementary but very nuanced businesses. So we have the land-based business, which I formerly ran. Importantly, Siobhan Lane has stepped up to run that business as the CEO, and just thrilled for her. Couldn't be more supportive and proud to see her step into those shoes that I left behind. The land-based business, which is primarily driven by great slot content, great technologies, deploying in the land-based casinos. We have the social casino business, which is about taking slot content and technology, deploying it in that social casino ecosystem. And then the third leg of the stool is iGaming, which is a really exciting opportunity for us. It's a mature market in the UK and Europe, but an exciting growth opportunity for us in the US. And that's really primarily driven by great slot content, great tables content, great technology deployed in the iGaming world. So you can quickly see that these businesses that we have in the portfolio, they fit together, they're complementary, they're better together, and that's an exciting place to be.
And as you look at LNW several years out, and as these three businesses evolve, will the company look similar in 3 or 4, 5 years?
Hopefully it looks bigger. That's the intention anyway. But I think as a new CEO stepping into the role, typically what you do is you do a really strategic review of the organization. Where are you headed? You rechart a new course. I'm very fortunate that a lot of that work has already been done by the previous CEO, Barry Cottle, who put us on the direction that we're in today, and I really honour him and appreciate everything he did for the organization. So we don't need to rechart the course. We know where we're headed. I was signed up to that strategy. I'm a big believer in it. I think where I want my fingerprints to show up on this business is through culture. I'm the CEO of this business, but in many ways I consider myself to be the chief growth officer. I think growth is really important. It's important to shareholders, but we have 6,000 employees that work for Light & Wonder today. And that's, for me, 6,000 families that depend on Light & Wonder as an economic engine for financial stability. So I'm really committed to making sure we continue to grow so people can have great careers here and chase their ambitions. I grew up in this industry. I joined when I was in my early 20s back in 2003. And this industry has afforded me just the most amazing opportunities from my time in Australia. I spent time in Asia. I've lived in the US now. I've been to every corner of the earth with the gaming industry, and I want that for our employees. And I think we're on a trajectory to do that. So, yeah, similar strategy. It'll change at the margin. Strategy always does because markets evolve and things change. But by and large, we know who we are. We know who we want to be. Our vision is to be the leading cross-platform global games company, which is a lot of words, I acknowledge that, but I like to break it down into its component parts. So the leading speaks to our ambition. We want to be the number one in everything that we do. That's our passion. Everyone that's joined, everyone that's at the company is here to win. And we want to be a games company, which is obvious, but cross-platform is the interesting thing. I think, we have these channels that we can take the content to and deploy it in land-based casinos, social casino, iGaming. It's a really interesting and unique collection of assets.
You've got a social casino company that at one time it looked like you're going to spin off, but now that you've gone through this reorganization and iGaming is important and social is important, what's the future of Sci Play? Does it get folded back in 100%, or are you satisfied being a majority owner?
Yeah, I mean, obviously hard to publicly disclose the conversations that we have about that, but we're always talking about all options. And what I will say is we obviously approached Sci Play a number of quarters ago about that potential deal. We couldn't come to terms. So, at that point in time, we thought it was strategically interesting to bring them back in. So we're always looking at that, nothing to publicly disclose about where we're at on that journey, but, it's our obligation to look at all opportunities that unlock value for shareholders, and that's one of them. There's lots of other things that we constantly talk about, but nothing to disclose publicly.
You have some very worthy competitors.
Oh, yes.
And each of you has the same goal to be the best.
Yes.
And, we all know Aristocrat, of course, has been riding high for a number of years now. Prior to that, IGT was the big name in town. And IGT still has a great heritage and a great product line and infrastructure. How are you going to be the best against that kind of competition?
Yeah, competition's a really healthy thing for markets. I firmly believe that, and a strong group of competitors that are pushing each other to do better and be better every day is just a really healthy thing for the industry. And I applaud our competitors for pushing us to be better. I think, look at the gaming floor today versus where it was a decade ago. I don't think it would have gotten to the evolution that we've seen without really healthy competition. So I respect them, I honor them. I had a great career at Aristocrat and have a lot of friends there still today. So yeah, amazed to see the work that they've done. Yeah, it always comes back to talent. It comes back to talent, controlling the controllables and focusing on your own playbook. Like, what are you doing every day to be better? The market is Darwinistic in the sense that the best products win and the worst products get removed from the floor. So, our ambition is to be number one, and that ambition is indiscriminate of competitors. We're willing to take share from anyone and everyone, and that's our plan. It's not tailored to any one supplier, but it does come back to talent. It comes back to focus on the controllables and just executing really well.
Question that I've had for a long time, I've not heard anybody address, is where did the name Light & Wonder come from?
Yeah, well, we were called Scientific Games, and we just had a quick off-camera conversation about where that name came from, and obviously it came from the lottery business. We chose to sell the lottery company, and it made a lot of sense that the name would go with that sale. It's history, it's where it came from. It has a lot of brand resonance with that buyer base, that customer base. So it went with the sale, which left us in a position where we had to rebrand out of necessity. We went through a long process. It was months long. We came up with 2,700 potential names. It's like naming a child. You have to get comfortable, and initially when you name a child, it doesn't feel right, but over time it kind of grows on you, and that's certainly what has happened with Light & Wonder. I always say that we have three major stakeholders that are interested in our company. We have shareholders. Shareholders care whether your stock price goes up or down. They don't really care what your name is. We have customers, which are really important. They really care about how your products perform and do you deliver on your commitments. They don't really care about your name when it comes down to it. And then you have employees, which I think are the engine of our business, are the thing that propels us forward. And there's a new generation of potential employees out there that want to work for fun companies that create experiences and brands. And that's really, when you think about the business that's left in the portfolio, the businesses, it's really content and technology. Think about the games that we put out. It's animations, it's graphics, it's sounds, it's exciting. We make games for a living. It's a really exciting place to be. And Light and Wonder is supposed to convey that levity about come and join us, because we're growing. It's a fun place to work, and we make products that can bring levity and excitement to consumers. That's where the name really came from.
Yeah, someone earlier today was quoting Gavin Isaacs as saying, "We're in the fun industry. We should have fun."
Gavin Isaacs, he is definitely everyone's favourite Australian in the industry. He's a good man, Gavin. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, he's reached the true level of celebrity when all you've got to say to anyone is, "I spoke to Gavin," and they immediately know who you mean.
Yeah, he's like Madonna or Prince. He's a
Right.
one-word name. Yeah.
One of the issues for Scientific Games for a long time after the accumulation of all those mergers was the balance sheet, and you've worked very hard to get it under control. Are you where you want to be there, or is there more work to do?
Yeah, we've set this target leverage range of 2.5 to 3.5 times, which we think is a really comfortable place to be. The businesses remain in the portfolio are very cash generative, so we can stay in that range and throw off a really solid amount of free cash flow. We've made a very explicit set of intentions with our investors and the market. Our 4 capital management priorities are: number 1, stay in that leverage range. That's our intention. We want a vast variety of investors that can look at us. I think the old Scientific Games wasn't a very investable vehicle. There's many investors out there that couldn't look at the name because of our leverage. So we're committed to staying in that target range. We're active in the market right now, as you probably know, with a share buyback, which many companies are. We feel like we put these Investor Day targets out to 2025. Where the stock is trading today versus the value that we will create over the coming years is completely dislocated. So we believe that. So we're out there buying our own stock back, which is means we're highly convicted about the future stock price. And then the third and fourth priorities in that order are inorganic investment. So we see a range of investment opportunities within the broader landscape of the markets that we're working in today. We feel like we have the talent and capacity to move into those markets and be successful to drive organic growth. And then inorganic growth falls at the bottom of our priority list. Not to say we're not looking at everything. Of course we do, that we're employed to do that. But we don't see M&A as being a major strategic priority for the business today. Not at a large scale. There'll be tuck-in acquisitions here and there, which keep us within that leverage target range. But yeah, large-scale M&A is not the highest priority for the company right now.
One of the, just an industry-wide kind of question, because the industry has been, had to deal with a lot of external forces in recent years, whether it's the evolution of COVID.
Yep.
We now have inflation, concerns about recession. We've had supply chain disruptions. And a lot of that has then led to the question of the health of your casino customers, and in turn, their patrons. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, what I see is it's an unbelievably resilient industry. I mean, it took a global pandemic to stop it in its tracks for a few months there, and it came raging back. And I think one of the key takeaways for me is that people love to play games. It's part of the human experience. And when the industry opened back up, players flocked back. I'm always reminded that there's challenges in the equity markets right now. There's no doubt about that. But the market is not the economy, and the economy is not the gaming industry. And we look with a healthy level of paranoia at all the lead indicators and KPIs, whether it's GGR, visitation, whether it's our own internal metrics, and nothing at the moment is really pointing to this market being challenged, which I think the economic cycle where we're at right now is being discriminate about how it impacts industries. Some industries are impacted more than others, but if you look at tourism, you look at visitation, you look at numbers of people coming through airports, GGR numbers, it's all still very healthy. Now, I always say that, to use a gaming parlance, you play the hand that you're dealt, not the hand that's in the shoe. And at the moment, the hand that we have in our hands as an industry is we're in growth mode. And you look at the casino floor here, it's where is the recession is what everyone's saying at G2E, because visitation's in a really healthy spot. So we look at it, we have scenario plans to deal with it should we face any headwinds. But I'm thankful Light & Wonder's in the position it's in financially with the balance sheet that it has, that if we do encounter kind of any choppy waters here, our boat's really sound, and that we're ready to sail into those with confidence and continue to invest through it.
So we are at G2E.
Yes.
Everyone wants to see the newest and the best.
Yes.
What are some of the products that people absolutely must see at your booth?
Yeah, I'll give you two, because I know most people probably give you 4 or 5. I'll give you 2. I'll stay committed here. I think the first one is our new Cosmic cabinet. It's our new premium curved screen cabinet. We've got a lot of game designers building on that, building great products, but one that's truly a future Hall of Fame talent is a guy called Ted Hassay, who's made some of the industry's best products. He joined us about 12 months ago. I worked with him in a prior life. He's an extraordinary game designer. So he has his first games on that cabinet, a Frankenstein theme. So come and check that out. The packaging is just awesome, and you're seeing his passion come to life. He's an unbelievable game designer. So I think that's definitely one to see. I think also our live dealer product, we bought a company called Authentic Gaming. So they're a live casino product. It was such an obvious extension of our markets for us. We are the OG, as they say, of the table games business. We bought Shufflemaster. We have unbelievable IP in that space. So taking all of that greatness that was Shufflemaster into the digital ecosystem is a great opportunity for us. We're going to go live in Q4 in Michigan, and then we have ambitious plans beyond that. So I think that's another one strategically that just made a whole lot of sense, and you should come and see that on the gaming floor today here at G2E.
Great, great. Good overview, Matt. This is probably might be your first interview as the CEO, and you passed.
Well, I wouldn't have chosen anyone else to do it with, Frank. It's genuinely appreciated. So thanks for having me.
Any final thoughts you'd like to share on Light & Wonder?
Yeah, I think we're looking to the future. We're in a much better position financially. We've got a great collection of assets. We have amazing people, and we're building an incredible culture here. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing all the success that comes of that over the coming years, and I'm sure you'll be watching on, cheering us along the way.
We will.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Matt, thank you.
Appreciate you very much. Thank you.